Okay, so welcome back into this channel. We are going to today talk about a class from the Spring ecosystem. Okay, the class name is a BeanUtils class, as well as its name suggests that it is a utility class that we can use whenever you are working with the Spring beans. Okay, so I have just scanned all this, scanned this BeanUtils class, and I found the useful method in it, which is a copy properties method. As well as we know that this is a utils method, it means that it is a static of we can see that all the methods will be inside this class will be the static method. There is a one method called copy properties, which is taking, it is a static method taking as a parameter of source type, and taking as a another parameter, second parameter is it is a target type. What is the purpose of this method? This method you can use if you want to copy all the values from one object into the another object. Okay, so this is actually the copying the value from properties, copying property values from one object to another object's properties. It is just basically the purpose of this method. Now just think about that, where this method can be a useful. And there is a case where you want to convert your entity classes into the DTO class, or your DTO classes into your entity class. Okay, then this method will be the useful. You have to just use the bean utils dot copy properties and pass your entity class, entity object comma your DTO object. It will just copy all the values from your entity object to your DTO object. Okay, now when this method is very useful, and in which cases that we have to use, just think about that. If you have a plain variables, it means that, think about that, all the flat variables in the sense is that in your DTO class or and your in entity class, so there will be a primitive type, or we can say that integer value, string value, boolean value. Okay, there should not be the object type of value. It means that the object which is having another more properties, it should not, if your class is not having that much, that kind of data type, then, or your class is not having a list kind of collection type of values, then this method, this copy properties methods will be very useful. But if you have such kind of things like object kind of things inside your class, user defined objects, or the collection type of objects inside your class, then you should not go ahead with the copy properties method, because it is giving directly mapping, and there may be a chance of the tedious issues coming along with this, in this case if you use the copy properties method. Okay, in this case, the another thing is that, what are the cases and what are the things that it is behaving. If you have it is matching the exact property name. If the property name is same, it is directly copy the value from your source property to your destination property. And if it is not finding any matching for that property, it will just ignore that property. It will not copy that property into another property, your source property into the destination property, because it is not matched. Okay, now just think about that. By default it will be having the null value in your destination property. Okay, so another case is that if you need object type of values inside your collection type of values, if you have inside your target entity or source entity, then you don't need to go ahead with this method, BeanUtils method. For the flat values it is okay, but if you have a complex kind of mappings, then you have to think about the bean wrapper, or you can think about the map struct, the another third party library that you can use for the map struct for transferring the data from one object into the another object. Or if you want that I need a full control to construct my DTOs, or copying the values from one property, one object into the another object, then you have to create your own mapper classes, and you have to create the methods like convert entity to DTO and convert DTO to entity. And you have to write your own controlled logic there in that particular methods. Okay, I think for this copy properties or bean mapping or bean property, bean whatever the properties that values you have to transform from one object to another object, I think I have covered all the cases for this particular requirement. And yeah, that's it. From the Spring ecosystem, I just need to discuss about this BeanUtils class. If you just think about that, if you have seen your in your code base that BeanUtils class is used, there is this method will be the used to can be used by the developer, like copy properties and kind of thing. And this copy property is also having the three kind of overloaded versions, where you can pass the editable properties and ignored property kind of things. You can easily check the documentation for more information about this copy properties. I have just given the basic purpose of this copy properties and when you should go ahead with this copy properties methods, or when you should not go ahead, when you should go ahead with the another kind of alternatives of this copy properties method. Okay, so yeah, that's it for today's video. I will see you in the another interesting talk. Okay, yeah, bye bye.